Hey guys, it's Savvy. I just recorded this video and forgot to hit start broadcast. So, here we go again. Well, for me, you don't know. Well, now you know, but you didn't see. Okay, this is my first book review for the new year. I just finished this book just a little bit ago. It took me 2 days to read. I'd wanted to read it all in one day, but I just wasn't feeling 100% yesterday, and I decided to rest. However, this was a really easy book to read, and it was so good. I felt like it was what I needed emotionally, and I really liked that about it. The book is 20 Fragments of a Ravenous Youth by, now I looked up a few different ways, I looked up at a few different places how to say this. They all kind of had different pronunciations. Chao Lu Yo. I hope I didn't offend anybody. Please let me know if you know how to say it down below. Say it in your next video. She is an amazing author, though. I will definitely be reading her other works. I'm hoping that she's in my public library because I just want to read all of her works. What's interesting about this book is that it was actually published 10 years ago, or 10 years before it was published in English in China, when she was a young woman still living in China. Now she lives in either Britain or France. I kind of saw both because I've been fangirling. But she is, she wrote this 10 years ago, and when her books came out in English, her A Concise Chinese English Dictionary for Lovers is like the one that really was like really popular. And they were like, hey, we saw that you published this book in Chinese. Do you mind us translating it? And she was like, yeah, why not? And then looking back on it after 10 years, after 10 more years of life, she realized that she didn't like it. She realized that she wanted to change it. And so she had to take, you can't like, she was like, she talks about in the acknowledgments, it's really interesting. She was saying that you can't change the Chinese and then translate it to English. You have to kind of like write on top of the English translation and like change things there. And she talks about how amazing her editor and translator were in helping her do this. And another really interesting thing is that the girl, the main character, is a very, she's a very kind of hearty, maybe, you know, in America we would call her a redneck, from that kind of a family. And so she speaks in this very raw, slangy Chinese. And so the author was talking about how difficult it was to translate that into English because she wanted to give the same feel without like assigning her an English equivalent, right? She wanted to give her her own equivalent. And they do a really great job of this. She always says like, oh God, and she says, oh holy bastard in the sky. And I felt like that was so good because it is kind of like a raw, like slangy thing to say, but I've never heard like somebody say that in America. Like, you know, I've never just heard someone say that. And so I thought that was a really good way to bring her, leave her in China, but obviously translate her. I absolutely loved this. She at 17, she runs away from her house. That's a 3-day and 3-night train ride from Beijing. She goes to Beijing. She leaves a note for her parents like, hey, I'm out. This place is boring. Goes to Beijing. She doesn't have any money. She ends up like squatting in a house. I'm not giving away too much. This is all in the book, and there's actually way more to it, so don't worry about it. But and essentially she starts working in the film industry. And it just really reminded me of my life in the music industry. Admittedly, I do different stuff, but like just that like she wants to be in it so bad, but it's just not quite right. And she's just always looking for something to be what she needs to be. And I just really felt a kinship with her, and it really made me feel like we're all connected. We're all brothers and sisters, but you know, even if our culture is different. And that was another thing too, was that since it was so, there were just so many things where it was like, oh, what that happens? like, China is very different than the US, and I knew that, but, like, I guess people when you read a book that was written in English for English-speaking people about China, even if it's by a Chinese person, there's more explanation. It's like, "Oh, this happens because of this," and but here it was just said with such, like, "Oh, yeah, like, I got arrested because my neighbors thought I was a prostitute." Because she's, like, friends with a white guy, essentially, and, like, I was just like, "Wait, what?" And it was, like, so normal. She was like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever. That's just how it happens." And, I just felt like it was so it was, like it just made me real I was like, "Whoa, like, that is so different." That wasn't the best example. There's other examples in the book. That one was the one that gave away the least, in my defense. What am I saying? This is why I wish I could edit. Um But what I loved about it too is that it really is 20 fragments. It's like little chapters, like little vignettes, but they're all in like order, and I love that. And another thing that I really loved is that sometimes there would be like a little burst of like a little screenplay or a little poem or a little dream. It's like, why is this in here? And then like it all comes back, and it's so well it's woven together, the story is, and the pacing is phenomenal. I love the pacing. I think the short size does have something to do with it, where it's just kind of these vignettes, but there's action and there's character and there's it's so good. um I just would really recommend it. I really feel like this is what I needed. It reminded me a lot actually of Love That Dog, where it's just kind of a short easy book, but it makes you feel all these things, and it's like, I haven't experienced this exactly, but, like, I know what she's going through, and it's like, oh, I don't know, like, I just loved it. I just really loved it, and I would really recommend it to everyone. Um, did I make all my points? Oh, another point, the author did I already talk about this? The author talks about how she wanted to make the main character grow up in this one. That in the other book that she wrote when she was younger, the character kind of just doesn't grow up, and she's kind of bitter and all this stuff. And I really like that she changed that. I think had the character not matured a little bit, I wouldn't have liked the book. But she does, because the character, she's almost unlikable, but she's not. I did like her, but she was almost like the depressed version of me. Like, you know how like depressed you is different than like go getter you? She was depressed me. But she grows up, and that's what I really liked. And I just really cannot, if you want something more from your life and you're just like, oh, I don't know what to do, read this, because she starts nowhere. She starts with nothing, and she just kind of keeps going and keeps going and keeps trying, and I don't know. Oh well, I guess I'll just keep going, and it works out. Essentially, probably. You kind of leave before you know that her life's like perfect, but for now it's working out, and I really, really love it. Yeah, I just really like it. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you guys. Oh, and I might not do this for every single book I read. Like, I need to finish House of the Seven Gables by Nathaniel Hawthorne by Tuesday. Oh, next week. And I'm not gonna do one of these for that. I'm reading it. It's interesting, but it's for a book club, and I'm not getting anything out of it that I feel like I need to let you guys know about. However, if it's a book like that where it's like, yeah, I'm enjoying it, but whatever, I won't do this. But if it's a book that I'm enjoying, I will do one of these live chats, because my editing software is still messed up. I'm pointing to my keyboard. But, you know, my thoughts, where did they go? Oh, but if I really enjoyed a book and I think you guys would like it, and I think, like, I don't think anybody's I had never heard about this. I got this in a book unboxing, in Book Voyage box, which is great. And just like, I would just, I'll definitely be doing this. I'm sorry, I got distracted by this book again. I was talking about how I'd recommend it. I will do one of these if I think you guys would enjoy the book, or maybe if you guys haven't heard of it. I'm currently reading a book published, or it's one of the publishing companies that's kind of in between self-publishing and traditional. But I don't have anything else to say. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, week, month, year, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Stop.